There are many challenges involved with interviews. Let's face it, it's an adrenaline-packed situation where most times you can't even remember what you've said after the interview. You're going in to meet people who you don't know, and you have to tell them exactly what's perfect about you and why you fit the job, and you need to demonstrate a number of things as you're going through the interviews. One thing I've learned over the last year is the power of a 60-second story. It's a simple technique which allows you to state your background, your context, any shifts in your current situation and your hope for the future. The first part of the 60-second story is to start with your background. So you can get 2 sentences really about what your background is. I could easily say, "Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm a communication designer and I really love what I do. And I used to work full-time, but I also worked in a lot of startup companies and did a lot of freelance." So that sets my background up. Then you have a shift. Okay, so you've done your background, then you have a shift. You could say, "Hi, I'm Sally and I was studying journalism and I loved what I did, and then I started working in a newspaper. I really enjoyed what I was doing, but I didn't feel like I had enough creativity in the writing that I was producing." So there's your background and your shift straight away. The found part of this little story is quite interesting because that's what you're then moving on to, and this is what gives you hope for the future. So from my perspective, I could say that I had been working as a communication designer. It was difficult because I was changing locations and we didn't have the network technologies that we currently experience. And then what I found from that was I found design education. And finding design education allowed me to continue to work as a designer, but it allowed me to impart my knowledge of practice, but also my inquiring mind into going deeper into design. And I felt that as designers, we like to help people. I felt that I could actually help more people through my work as a design educator than as a designer. From a more general point of view, you could turn around and say, if something from that shift of a career change, then what have you found that actually allows you to bring in that part which was missing, and how have you directed that into a new area of work? And I think that's really important to be able to demonstrate because it allows you to think, shows that you can think outside the box. The last part is the hope for the future, and that's really about recognising that you've got a lot of positivity and a lot of energy, and so you're directing this into something really strong. So again, for me, it is about the students and I together can make some really cool stuff which is meaningful, but we're also always pushing forward the boundaries of what design can do and what design education can actually bring. It's really about saying, you know, I've found this thing and I recognise that it's really injected some dynamics into what I do and how I do it, and I've got amazing hope for the future because this is what I love. The idea of it is not to sound fake or not to sound forced with it, but to get a story which you feel incredibly comfortable with and that you're able to then turn around and say, this is who I am. Once you've written out your 60-second story, practice it. Practice it with your mum, with your dad, with your dog. Say it out aloud and believe it. You know, this is who you are. This is a simple technique to just use as an introduction and to get people to want to ask you more.